So we are abundant. We have been given so much. And we are our brother's keeper. It is up to us to spread the abundance, whether the abundance is in love and compassion, whether it's in helping and serving, or whether it's in giving financially. That is what we're taught to do. Back in the Old Testament, the farmers were instructed to leave the last frozen on the edges of their fields unharvested, for those who had no food to come by and pick the grain. And that's pretty much what we're asked to do, is give a little bit from around our edges to make the world a better place, to give love. So today I'm going to show you just a few possible opportunities out of the hundreds and thousands of opportunities there are to give back. So I will ask Jane to bring up the first slide.
Okay. Is that the one you wanted?
Yes, click on the screen once more, and then it should work. UMCOR, United Methodist Committee on Relief, is, in my opinion, the very best relief organization out there. They are always one of the first organizations on site when there's a disaster or a need, and one of the last to leave. People from all over the world go to wherever the need is, and they get their hands dirty. They're on site helping wherever and however they can. And when you give to UMCOR, 100% of what you give goes to the service projects. This is incredible. We hold a separate UMCOR Sunday once a year, in which we give specifically to help with administrative costs. That way, everybody who gives to UMCOR on a normal basis knows that everything they're giving goes to them. And they have so many different ways that you can give, and it's phenomenal. We're going to show a very short video.
Every day, in places all around the world, disaster strikes. Families struggle. Homes and livelihoods are destroyed. People don't know where to turn. Hope is almost lost. And then, by the grace of God and through the support of people like you, UMCOR provides hope and healing to communities devastated by disasters. Part of the General Board of Global Ministries, UMCOR is a humanitarian relief arm of the United Methodist Church. Working in the U.S. and in countries around the world, UMCOR offers help when natural or man-made disasters overwhelm a local community's ability to respond, and seeks to improve the well-being of displaced peoples, migrants, and refugees. In the U.S., UMCOR partners with United Methodist annual conferences, working with disaster response coordinators, disaster response ministries, and early response teams to provide support for relief and recovery efforts. By working together with U.S. conferences, UMCOR's connectional approach helps communities recover faster and make survivors' lives whole again. UMCOR also responds to international disasters, providing a range of relief and recovery support through local Methodist churches and trusted partners, as well as ecumenical and non-governmental organizations. UMCOR's efforts to help communities become more self-sufficient and better prepared for future disasters include care for the environment and sustainable agriculture. Every day, around the world, UMCOR connects United Methodist churches to God's mission by helping people who are suffering. As followers of Christ, we are called to protect the vulnerable, support the weak, and comfort those who mourn. To learn more or to give to UMCOR, visit umcor.org.
You know, it's hard to see what's up there. And it's just as hard to see the sheet of paper on there. But we can make copies for anybody who wants them. UMCOR has several current responses, including Ukraine response, US hurricane response, latest international disaster response, and latest US disaster response. But I asked Jane to pick one of those, and we'll learn a little more about it. Go back. Click on the purple United Methodist on the side.
Okay, all right.
There it is. There's the video we just watched. So scroll down and pick one of those boxes where it says learn more. So you can see that they are responding. Okay, just go back up to the picture then. And it looks like possibly a flood, maybe an earthquake kind of a situation. And the people have gone in to help them. If we were to have, say, an earthquake here, or a tornado, which obviously doesn't happen, UMCOR would be here. And they would be in our houses like this, helping us to clean up, to fix up, helping us to survive while we do that, because we could actually be homeless at that point, and getting us all back on our feet. And if you go online to the umcor.org, listed on the sheet that if you can have a copy of, you can go through and look at all of these different responses that they have and what they do. So if you back up one slide, or hit your back button, I guess is what I'm asking you to do. And scroll down. We have, yeah, right there.
Okay.
One tiny bit down so we can read what it says. They also have relief supplies to provide care for those after a disaster and a supply network. There are groups of people who get together and provide little disaster kits that are then stored in the warehouse along with other supplies and such. And churches sometimes do that, and it could be kind of fun. So if that's something we'd like to do in the future, that would be fun. You get information from the UMCOR office as to what kind of kits they need. You make up the little kits and you send it to them. Then they have them ready for disaster strikes. They don't have to make them up. They're there. So that's a really cool thing. And if you just want to donate, there are again many options. You can write a check and mail it to them. You can write a check and memo it UMCOR and put it in the offering basket, and we will send it to them. Or you can go online and look at all the choices, and you can get to one particular response that you want to give to, or you can just say use it wherever it's most needed right now, which is what I do. And you can donate that way. I donate automatically, which I love because I don't always remember to do these things. So every month, the money comes out of my account and goes to them, and I told them to just use it for where it's most needed. But if you have a particular area that's on your heart that you want to give to, or if there's a new disaster that you want to point it to, you just tell them that's what it is, and it goes there. So it's a wonderful thing, and in 2 weeks from today, we're going to have our UMCOR Sunday, which is where we give money to UMCOR specifically to cover the administrative costs. So that the 100% of donation otherwise goes to missions. So what I'll ask you to do if you decide to give through the church, is to use one of the little envelopes. You don't have to, but it would be helpful. Use one of the little envelopes and mark on what it is you're giving to. Are you giving to UMCOR? Are you giving to the UMCOR administrative or any of the other things that we haven't hit yet. That will just make it easier for Steve to figure out what it is you want to do with this money. Otherwise, he has to do what he wants to. He's pretty good, but still, we want to do what you want. So again, I didn't make copies of the handouts, because I don't know who wants what, but we can make copies. Okay, next slide. Oh, very good, okay, perfect. One more. Another group that is among the most excellent in the world is called Heifer International. And they are in the business of providing relief and education and support to countries around the world where people are not able to support themselves. They're not able to provide their own food or take care of their own families. We even have a quarter filler, and there's actually money in here. It's been sitting around. So it's really simple. You just drop your quarters in, or anything besides quarters. There's coin in there too. And we can send it on to them. And Heifer International, their rate is 74% of what you give goes to the mission itself. So again, that's a very high percentage of what it is. And they give animals, they connect farmers to resources and support. They train people, they teach them to grow crops without hurting the environment, help them to set up a selling process for their goods that are above and beyond them, help them get loans. They work hard getting women to be their own businesses, their own sellers, to give them some power of their own. Make sure that the kids get to go to school, encourage families to pass on their knowledge and gifts to others in the community. So typically, if they were to give a family, say 2 goats, male and female preferably, and then they would start to have a goat farm. And once they are on their feet and settled, they are expected, encouraged, to give a couple goats to somebody else so that it spreads and it goes on. Their goal is to ensure that families can meet all of their needs on an ongoing basis and gives them a little dignity. We're not just giving them food or money, we're teaching them how to take care of themselves. So if Jane would click on the purple heifer at the top.
I was actually looking for a heifer.
And scroll down until we get the pretty pictures. You see pictures of the people in the goats. We have bees in there. Yeah, click on one of those, say the living income. And learn more.
Yeah.
Helping them to grow their food, to grow their incomes, how to take care of themselves, how to plan, how to get loans, how to sell. Okay, is there anything to know that? A little bit. The pictures are nice. I'm a picture person. And you can see the dark blue areas are areas where they have been working. Okay, put your back button. Your work area. And just pick one of them. It's another fun place. If you go online to their site, you can just play around and look at all the different places, all the different opportunities. Really get excited about helping these people to have a living income. Everybody deserves a living income, not for free, but to work for. Give people a hand up so they can take care of themselves. Honduras. Right, once they've grown these high-value crops, how do they sell them? Probably not to their neighbors, although, you know, some go to their neighbors. But if they're actually gonna make a living income, they're going to have to sell them to those of us who are going to pay more money. So getting those connections, those networks going is very, very important. Okay, back up. So again, with heifer, you can put your money in here, or you can write a check, put it in the envelope, mark it Heifer International, and we'll then send the money to you, or you can go online. We of course have donate buttons, and you can donate how you want to donate, whether by credit card or check or automatic withdrawal or whatever you would like, and help people out. Okay, so if we go back to our card. See what I asked Jane to do. Here, step in here and do this. That would be try a different one.
That's a different code.
Let's check. Let's really close. There, okay. And, okay. Not to forget the local items. Cedar Ridge Food Bank. We have people right here who can't feed their families properly. We have children in our schools in Delta whose primary source of nutrition comes from the school lunches. They need help. We can help. We can either give to the Cedar Ridge Food Bank. We can donate food. That's what this wagon over here is for. Bring canned goods, anything non-perishable, and we'll collect them. And when we, have stuff, we'll take it down and donate it. You can volunteer. It's a great way to volunteer and to meet people around the area. It's just to go down and help out on the distribution days. They distribute on Thursdays and Fridays. And in the past, we've always had some people who were part of that organization. It's just a minor little commitment once a week to go do something good for people. Okay, next. We're all familiar with the thrift shop. Again, it's serving people. Can you imagine I can't imagine trying to support a family of, say, 5 people these days on maybe one income. I don't know how it's done. And suppose someone loses their job or has to take a part-time job. How do you put those clothes on the kids? Or on yourself so you can go out and work with you, to go to a job with you? It's crazy. So the thrift store is there. We can donate to the thrift store. We can buy from the thrift store. We do buy from the thrift store. They have good things sometimes. Yeah, the thrift store is also one of those really interesting gathering places. There is a lot of conversation that goes on among the people who go in and the people who are volunteering there to work. Don't forget they always need volunteers. Sometimes I hear people come in just to talk. So we're having an effect on the community, a good positive effect, even if they're not buying anything. So it's an excellent way to support our community right here, both the food bank and the thrift shop. Okay, one more slide because we cannot forget our own church. And it is right now our stewardship campaign. The building's not free. The utilities, the insurance, the paying our wonderful Jill to keep everything running. She does such a wonderful job. Paying Pastor Karen, we're paying her for quarter time and she's spending at least half time with us. She said because she loves us so much. We love her so much. So it's time to really think about how we can support our church so that our church can support our community and our whole world. So make sure you fill out the forms that Brother Bob gave us. They look like this, your pledge forms. So last year, we got our pledges in and we got enough pledges to meet our budget, which was just the most exciting thing we've had in many, many years. And then to make it even better, we are mostly getting all of our pledges in by donations, and that's fairly uncommon. That means you guys are good, okay? So we need the pledges, first of all, because it does make a commitment to us to actually do it. Accountability is a great thing, but also so that we can plan next year's budget. You can't plan a budget without having an idea of how much is coming in and how much is coming out. So the deadline for that is June 15th. This is June 11th, right? That means it's coming up this week. Get them in. You could mail them. You can drop them off here. I was saying you could fold them up and put them in the offering basket, but it'd probably be better to put them in the office. And what goes around comes around. Love is not something that diminishes. The more love you give, the more love you get. The more compassion you give, the more compassion you get. The more help you give, the more you receive when you need help. Because we all have times when we need assistance. We all have times when we can give assistance. Sometimes a hug or a smile is a make it or break it in the life of somebody. So we have abundance, we share abundance. Abundance begets abundance. And the love of God goes on and on